This cluster of islands looks exactly like Chester Cheetah, and every time I see it, I glance down at my fingertips hoping they're covered in orange Cheeto dust. I've been brainwashed.
I know you can see underground, but don't ruin the surprise.
Spoiler snobs. That prairie dog was way under that note. I haven't noticed ground mammals that flat since the steamroller crew forgot to remove the roadkill before paving. Also, steamrollers don't actually run on steam anymore, so they should really just be called rollers. And I know that has nothing to do with this, but hi, welcome to the channel.
I'm putting an orchestra together.
Calm down, Aang. You just tooted a couple notes on a kindergarten recorder. It's hardly an orchestra, especially since these furry critters have no instruments. This is more of a vocal ensemble, a tone-deaf furry vocal ensemble.
I've been training my arrow off.
Did Aang just do a near swear by substituting arrow for ass? Does that even work? I would think a smart arrow like Aang would be fine dropping a swear or two, but maybe I'm just the arrow hole here. Aang just airbended himself to a standing position instead of using his own strength. That's a quick trip to muscle atrophy, kid. Never skip leg day, Aang. Never skip leg day.
I don't see anything wrong with having one of those fruity beverages while we plan our strategy.
I do. Are those blades even washed? As impressive as this is, there was no blade wiping before he sheathed the sword, so those things have to be so nasty.
No worries. I clean up easy.
First, dick move by Aang here to assume it's the other guy's fault and not even apologize or offer to buy another drink. Second, if you know that you're the last of your kind in a world at war between elemental tribes, wouldn't you want to keep your airbending on the DL?
Are fruit pies an agricultural product?
Yes, and they come from the land of Hostess, ripened in the famous chemical preservative fields and dipped in the finest corn syrup, farm-to-table goodness at its best.
You've made a lot of trips into the desert.
So apparently these dotted journeys are his desert trips, but why do they all just stop out in the middle? Did you walk back the exact way you went out? What's the point of that? Also, does this loop mean you walked a purposeful circle? I mean, if you're mapping it with any sort of accuracy, you would know you're doing it, right? Quentin Tarantino's Avatar: The Last Airbender.
So this spirit has attractive assistants, huh?
I think he means they look like actual foxes, Sokka.
Yes, but you can see how that would be confusing considering Mr. Convenient Map Man did the universal sign for sexiness. Easy with the wiggly woo-woo fingers there, buddy. This is a kid's show.
Sandbenders, shoo! Away from the bison!
Technically, sandbending is a form of earthbending, but that sure did look like airbending with that dirt devil propulsion system. In fact, according to the laws of physics, without outside air, I'm not even sure it's possible to blow yourself, even though I'm sure many have tried.
There it is! That's what it will sound like when one of you spots it.
I haven't even had a chance yet to mention how Toph may be one of the greatest characters in the history of animation. Her spirit, her abilities, her sense of humor. Sin off for the Toph. Disrespecting gravity. In case you're wondering how they did this, the building is actually filmed horizontally and then they turn it in post so it looks like the fox is running up the side. Pretty clever, actually.
It's completely buried.
In fact, one could say it's lie-buried. Based on the length and location of this rope, there are two possibilities. First, that they just happen to have a rope this long and somehow securely fastened it to the very center of the tower. Or that this library had a climbing rope installed. I'm not saying either is impossible. I'm just saying they're both unlikely enough that I'm willing to throw a sin at it and let the comments fall where they may.
I am one Shi Tong, he who knows 10,000 things.
Know it, owls. Also, is knowing 10,000 things a lot? That seems pretty easy. I mean, I know the states. That's like 50 things right there. Probably at least 30 of the capitals. Plus, I have at least a dozen friends with phone numbers and addresses. My vocabulary has a few words in it. Wait, I know at least the first 10,000 numbers. That does it right there.
Humans only bother learning things to get the edge on other humans.
Or to find porn. You forgot about the porn.
If you're going to lie to an all-knowing spirit being, you should at least put some effort into it.
To be fair, this all-knowing spirit can only remember 10,000 things, so...
So, you like flying?
This is about to get very awkward if Appa says no. Be careful what you ask your animals, they might just tell you the truth. And then you're going to feel like crap when you have to ride him out of here, or if he happens to get stolen.
Hey, look at these weird lion turtle things.
When a show knows enough about its lore to drop some serious foreshadowing at this point in the story, I have to give it the praise it deserves. I mean, not that I went ahead and watched it already.
The information on the Fire Nation should be right up here.
I mean, sure, there's a giant Fire Nation poster over the door and some dragon-type statues, but this place is huge. How did you know to head this direction in the first place?
Hello, little weird fox guy.
Sean Hannity.
We'll wait for the next eclipse, then we'll invade the Fire Nation.
You'll wait for an eclipse? I mean, I'm no astronomy expert, but isn't that something that doesn't happen all that much? And won't you have to prepare for that day? Waiting for an eclipse seems to be a pretty ridiculous strategy. And sure, he comes back later to try and find out when it might happen, but right now he seems perfectly content just waiting it out.
Countless others before you have come here, seeking weapons or weaknesses or battle strategies.
I mean, if there have been that many, a lot of that falls on you, Snooty Hooty. How many licks does it take to get to the center of human depravity? gravity anyway.
Why are we doing this?
I think the more pertinent question is, how are you doing this? Toph is barely holding on to a sinking tower, and evil Hedwig is viciously tracking down your friends, so exactly how much time do you have to check every single day between now and Sozin's comet for an eclipse? I mean, this date-checking montage alone lasts a full minute, so any tension the show was trying to build is eclipsed by how stupid long this task would take you.
It's just a few months away.
Of course it is. Also, just to reiterate, a few months away at the very least is 90 days, which means you checked at least 90 individual days on this machine, with each check lasting about a minute. Think about how they are about to pretend like the frantic Katara escape, the Appa Bison napping, and the Toph Tower strain have all been going on for an hour and a half, while these two have played planetary roulette, and tell me it doesn't deserve another sin for that nonsense.
I'm sorry, Appa.
I mean, he could have just flown upwards, so really the kidnapping is kind of on him.
At least I'll have one specimen to add to my collection.
Boy, Guardians of Gaful here sure went from helpful to Hannibal real quick, huh?
Your waterbending won't do you much good here.
Use your spit! Use your spit! This works.
I could spend an eternity in here.
As long as his definition of eternity is the length of time between his last sip of water and impending death, he'll have his wish granted.
Why are we wasting our time with the Dewey Decimal System when your system is so much easier?
Pop quiz! Did you know that CinemaSins has 2 more channels? Music Video Sins and TV Sins. If you, for whatever reason, like our snarky style, you'll probably enjoy even more ridiculous bullshit over there. Okay, that's it for now. Back to the outtakes.
I know you can see underground, but don't ruin the surprise.
That's how they get you. They're under the goddamn ground. Hello, Cleveland! Ice cream. Now you, sir. Ice cream. Now you, sir. Ice cream.
Are you ready for the big-time young Mr. Flanagan?
Do you think they've got info on the Fire Nation? A map, maybe?
If there's a place you gotta go, I'm the one you need to know.
This is the library.
Donna Noble has left the library. Donna Noble has been saved.
Come on, Eclipse!
Rob, Big bucks, stay away, whammies! Stop! Stop!